should even record this just in case. So we've had our share of technical challenges today. Probably lost internet and lost the connection to the chat room, 10 times so far. And kudos to those love warriors who are holding down the fort in the chat room. Yeah. But I was noticing here that this process of trying to get going and then having the internet smack me down, trying to get going, smack. It's kind of like playing basketball against someone who's way better than me and just keeps just going, oh. And trying to, it's not about winning, it's about playing. I'm just going to show up. So I was noticing this feeling deep in, it's not really, I kind of feel like just really sensitive. And this has been something that I've gotten better at being more in tune with my tension and my awareness. There was a time in my life when I actually got pushed over the edge every so often. And it usually was in relationships, and it was usually in a situation when I didn't have control, or I couldn't during an argument or something, and I would try to stay calm, and then eventually I would just freak out. And I've punched walls, I've broken doors, I've had some shameful moments of anger overwhelming me. Thank goodness the worst that happened was a hole in the wall. And over time, there was a time when I felt like I almost had no control over that. And over practice, I learned that there were certain situations and scenarios, and I could recognize it. And so there have been times in relationships when I've said, you know what, I understand that this is a very pressing conversation and it's a lot of passion, but I need to walk away. I need to just walk around the block. I need to revisit this in a few minutes because I'm like, this engine is in the red. And I'm going to react pretty soon, and I get to this place where subconsciously I know the way to stop this feeling, stop this discomfort, is to explode. And if I yell and scream and break things, that will freak whoever is get the other side of this conversation will shut them up, And so, after recognizing that pattern a few times, I now try to be like, okay, I'm about to bubble over. I need to stop. And if my partner refuses to let me do that, or whoever's in that situation, if they're like, don't you dare walk away with me, or blocks the door or something like that, then it's very hard for me to be like, don't let the demon out, And so this experience of the tech challenges just now, I kind of felt the little demon wanting to. And as it happened, I remembered last night I had this dream where someone was trying to get me to explode, and they were goading me. And it was a similar feeling as that I just had, where it was like I felt calm, but I could feel that bubbling, like the lid was going bubble, 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 like when a pressure cooker is just about to bubble over. And in that dream, I was having this feeling. And I think actually, in the dream, what happened was this guy was chiding me, and then finally he was poking me, and I ended up biting his finger in the dream. And Tim was like, "Oh, see, and then I was in this defensive place of well, you assaulted me. I was defending myself because it was a very strange feeling. Not sure how that relates to now. Maybe symbolically, the internet right now is poking me in the face. And if you don't watch it, I will bite." Anyway, I think that is maybe that is the unplanned topic of today's Hug Nation, is in becoming aware of when we are off balance, and becoming aware of when our thoughts, maybe not even thoughts, because this is for me, this experience is less about thoughts and more about sensation and feeling, and actually letting thoughts, the consequences of those thoughts, actually changing my mood, my temperature, my demeanor, kind of getting me on edge. And the process of recognizing that so that we can find ways to tune it down, which is, walk around the block, whether it is trying to go to a quiet space, whether it's watch a music video, whether it's, call someone that you love and tell them, hey, can you just, tell me about your day for a few minutes, to get yourself out of the whatever pattern is causing it. It's interesting for me here because, as the internet was going down, the irony is that the thing that makes me not able to walk away is also the thing that calms me down, which is everyone who's in the chat room. Like that feeling of that responsibility feeling, that feeling of like, here I've invited everybody to tea and everyone's sitting down and then I can't get the water hot. But because it's Hug Nation and because the reason we come together is to practice our growth, then that is the motivation for me to to try to calm, try to use this as a lesson. Because I think in some ways, the big picture of Hug Nation is that life is learning, and the process of finding other adventurers, love ambassadors, is to have more and more reflections of people who are embracing the process of life as learning, embracing the process of becoming more peaceful, more heart-focused, and more supportive, more giving. And so it is that lesson that I was thrown into today, and so thank you for the coaching as we walk through it. It's actually also cool to because even as the webcam was going up and down and I couldn't access certain things in the chat, I would see little comments from the chat room and see Bridie saying, I'm liking it. This is making me calm down. This is a good practice. And other people in the chat room saying, Freestyle Fox saying, everything's great. It's like, okay, cool. Well, I'm glad that you guys are embracing and looking for the cone in all things, and that is inspiring, and I appreciate it. And maybe that's what Hunter just said, is that as you go through it together, that's part of the whole point of Hug Nation. It's not a solo meditation. It's not a solo lesson of A Course in Miracles that you're meditating on during the day, and or an affirmation. It is a group experience. It is a collective experience, and in that collection, in that joined vibration, we strengthen one another. And maybe that is what today is about. So thank you for accentuating and amplifying that vibration. Thank you for being an agent of love in the world. Thank you for demonstrating what it's all about. It's not about being free from challenges. It's about learning from the challenges. It's about seeing the challenges as classrooms and lessons. And it's about shifting that perspective from obstacle to adventure. So thank you for being fellow adventurers on this moment, on this day, and every moment. I am inspired by you. Thank you. I love you. And I love who you are in the world. Thank you for who you are and who you're becoming. Namaste.